Now at 8 o'clock on WKYT this morning, Lexington police are investigating shootings in downtown Lexington that sent 2 people to the hospital. And another shooting at a fast food restaurant in Lexington leaves a girl fighting for her life this morning. And we'll have highlights from the NBA preseason game at Rupp Arena last night. You'll hear from the former Wildcats coming up on WKYT this morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good Sunday morning to you. I'm Michelle Chamberlain. Thanks so much for joining us. It's October 16th. We hope you're having a great weekend so far. And you know what? We had a busy night in our newsroom. But before we give you the news, here's meteorologist Mike Linden with a look at your Sunday forecast. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Michelle. Sunday is off and running with some gorgeous conditions across the Bluegrass State. We'll take a look at the weather cameras from Louisville to Corbin. No matter where you look, a gorgeous sunrise is underway with really not much cloud cover out there. And temperatures, they are already getting going early on. Most spots in the lower 60s, which is a good 10 or so degrees warmer than where we should be normally for this time of year. So we will continue to trend warmer as we head into the afternoon today. Don't bank on really anything getting in the way weather-wise. Could be a stray shower out there over the southeastern mountains this afternoon, but otherwise, that's really it. Nothing much else is expected as temperatures will once again continue to rise, and today won't be the end of it. We will continue to see even warmer temperatures into the work week, but fall does make a comeback in the middle of the work week. I'll show you how warm we'll go before the floor drops out coming up.
Thank you, Mike. We have some developing news this morning. It was a busy night for Lexington police. 2 people are in the hospital after being shot in downtown Lexington early this morning. Now, police say they got the call at 1:30 this morning of shots being fired at Trust Lounge on West Main Street. Then police received another call about a half an hour later about another shots fired call 1 block down Main Street at the Chase Bank parking garage. WKYT's Mike Byers live at UK Hospital with more information this morning. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Michelle. What we know is both victims are in the hospital right now. What we don't know is if the shootings are connected. Police are trying to figure that out right now. Now, it all started around 1:30 this morning. This is when Lexington police responded to a call of shots fired at Trust Lounge on West Main Street. Police found blood at the scene, but no victim. Police say a short time later, a person showed up at Good Samaritan Hospital with a gunshot wound to the leg. Then not long after that, police say they located a person with a gunshot wound to the stomach. And that person was found at the Chase Bank parking garage. He was rushed to the hospital where he is listed in critical condition. Police say they have no suspect descriptions at this time. Once again, police are not sure if the shootings are connected. They're trying to determine that. Of course, if we learn of any breaking details, we'll be sure to update you on air, online, and through our WKYT mobile news app. Live at UK Hospital, Mike Byer, WKYT.
And just a couple of hours later, another shooting broke out at the Cookout on South Broadway. Police say just before 4 o'clock, officers responded to a call of shots fired. Police say people in 2 cars fired shots at each other, then drove off. Police say a juvenile girl was shot in the neck and rushed to the hospital. They say as of right now, she is in very critical condition. Police say the 2 cars involved in the shooting are a dark blue or black Charger and a charcoal gray Charger. Police do have some people they are questioning after they found a car that matched the description of one of those cars. Now, we'll be giving you updates all morning here on WKYT This Morning as more information comes into our newsroom. Now, a man is fighting for his life in a Lexington hospital after a motorcycle accident. Police say a motorcycle and a car collided at the intersection of Alumni Drive and Yellowstone Parkway yesterday afternoon. The driver of the motorcycle was taken to UK Hospital with what we're told are life-threatening injuries. Police say 3 people in the car were not hurt. Now, we have more information this morning on a deadly crash in Perry County. The coroner says 2 people were killed when 2 cars collided on Kentucky 7. It happened around 5 o'clock yesterday evening at the intersection with Kentucky 699 in Cornettsville. State police are investigating, but they have not released any details about the crash yet. Autopsies will be conducted soon out of Frankfort. Now, we're still trying to figure out exactly what happened in a shooting between a husband and a wife in Corbin. Corbin police say Stephen Pataki was shot several times Thursday at a home on West 7th Street. The Whitley County coroner confirms that Pataki has died at a hospital in Tennessee. The Corbin Times-Tribune reports that Pataki's wife admitted shooting him, but she says it was an accident. Neighbors say they never thought anything like this could happen.
It's very sad for the children. And I mean, you don't know more than I knew about her. It's sad for her too.
Neighbors also tell us the couple has twins in middle school, and we're told the children were in school at the time of the shooting. Lexington police are also investigating a shooting this morning. They say a woman was shot in the hand and the hip along McCullough Drive just before 2 yesterday afternoon. They say the woman is not being cooperative. Now police say they questioned one person in connection to the shooting, but no one has been charged. Lexington police are trying to track down a man wanted for an armed robbery. Employees tell us the man walked into the Dollar General on Southland Drive and asked for help. They say the man followed one of the employees to the back of the store and demanded money, holding him at gunpoint. The employee unlocked the safe. Now police say the man did get away with money. The manager says he was not in the store when the robbery happened, and he thinks the robber was waiting for him to leave. He also tells us the robber turned off the security cameras before the robbery. In lighter news this morning, a Winchester cemetery is getting a makeover. A group of volunteers from one of the VFW posts in town is trying to clean up Reeves Memorial Park. It's near Daniel Grove Cemetery, and it was dedicated in 1939. The cemetery has been neglected for several years, and veterans from both world wars and even the Spanish-American War are buried there.
These men did everything they could and gave the ultimate price, and this is the way they're being treated.
The volunteers will continue to work on the cemetery as long as the weather allows. Martin says the goal is to have most of the cleanup completed by Veterans Day so they can rededicate the cemetery. Now, they're used to helping others, but this weekend they're the ones asking for help. The Powell County Search and Rescue Team put on a fundraiser on the runway at the Stanton Airport. Board members and organizers say they wanted to help the rescue team, and they're glad they were able to bring some activity to the airport.
The airport does a lot for the community. There's a lot of business people use the airport, and the Powell County Rescue Squad, they do quite a bit of stuff in Red River Gorge where it's through the summer there's quite a few tourists.
Due to Federal Aviation Administration policies, pilots were unable to fly donors over the area, but they say they're hoping to get those kinks worked out within the next 2 weeks. And it was a bye week for UK football, but you know what? There was plenty of basketball going on here in Lexington this weekend. It started with Big Blue Madness and ended last night with an NBA game. The Washington Wizards played an NBA preseason game at Rupp Arena against the Sacramento Kings, and the game featured 4 former Wildcats. Lee K. Howard has all your highlights from the game.
Kentucky fans got the chance to see some of their favorite former Wildcats last night at Rupp Arena. With so many guys in the NBA now, there's a good chance that there'll be an NBA preseason game for the next few years at Rupp Arena. The Kings with 3 Wildcats, right there was one of them, DeMarcus Cousins on that drive. How about Willie Cauley-Stein? He enters his 2nd season in the league. Cuz and Willie teaming up for that bucket there. For the Wizards, John Wall, now one of the premier point guards in the league, here with the run-out finish. The Kings would get the win, 124-119, a big night for all 4 former Wildcats back here in Lexington. Always good to see those guys, familiar faces, and they look like they had a good time. Back to you.
And getting to see 4 UK greats come back to Rupp and play was a big reason why so many fans came out to the game. Fans got to see, of course, John Wall of the Wizards play against former Wildcat teammate DeMarcus Cousins, along with Willie Cauley-Stein and Scala Sierra. But what stole the show was the halftime performance.
Hopefully other people can see that amputees aren't limited to only being in wheelchairs, and to just prove to the world that we can do something special.
The amputees who played at halftime are all volunteers. Now, runners hit the pavement in their best pink outfits to help raise money for breast cancer screenings. The 2nd annual Yes Ma'am 5K was held at R.J. Corman Railroad in Nicholasville. The event is put on by the St. Joseph Hospital Foundation in partnership with Kentucky One Health. The Yes Ma'am program is a critical component in the fight to detect breast cancer early. So WKYT this morning is just getting started. Coming up, a new invention is giving strength to people who are paralyzed. That story in 10 minutes. And what's the Halloween costume that has everyone talking? Next, we'll show you a Ken Bone costume that is meant for the ladies. That's coming up after Mike's forecast.
And Sunday is already starting off even better than where we were on Saturday, and it looks like the afternoon will also be even better. Coming up, I'll take you through the next few hours and show you what the afternoon has in store for you.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Mike Linden.
Well, here we go again. Sunday morning is off and running, even better than where we were yesterday morning at this time. Yesterday, we saw some scattered showers over southern Kentucky on the Defender radar network. This morning, not so much. Things are starting off really nicely as we get going early on. Some thin clouds and a whole lot of sunshine out there as we get going here on an aptly named sunny Sunday morning. Temperatures in the low 60s and upper 50s. That is warmer than where we were yesterday, and it's warmer than where we should be normally for this time of year. A comfortable start as we get going early on. But we're not done there. Temperatures will continue to work their way back into the lower 80s for daytime highs out there. Sunny skies as well. If you didn't get a chance to go out to Keeneland yesterday, nor if you've had a chance to get out there at all this season, you've got to go today. I mean, you're talking about some of the best weather that you can find for some horse racing. Even into the evening hours, temperatures are going to be quite comfortable, only slipping back into the low 70s. So let's take a look at the big picture here and see why it is we're dealing with the warmth and how long it will stick around for. So we'll start you off at 8 o'clock this morning, and we'll advance as we get into the afternoon. Notice a big cold front sitting to our north, and that's keeping the rainfall away from us. It's also keeping the cool air away from us too. That cold front will pretty much find a home there in northern Indiana and Ohio, not working south enough to bring Kentucky some of the cool air and the rainfall. So that means Monday, Tuesday, looking pretty similar to what we'll see today. Sunny and warm. It isn't until we get into Tuesday, Wednesday, though, that yet another front works its way in from the northwest, although this time the front extends a bit more to the south than the first. That means that cooler air, the chance for some rain, and thicker clouds will begin to slowly return to the forecast. That begins by about Wednesday and will really begin to pick up some steam as we head into the second half of our work week. So that means today, Monday, and Tuesday, all looking great and feeling great too. Normal daytime highs this time of year, the upper 60s. We're going way past that, blowing past that number even before lunchtime today as temperatures return to the lower 80s for daytime highs out there. Lots of sunshine for you here into the early stages of the work week, but by Wednesday, that's where that cold front rears its ugly head, and that's just going to yank those high temperatures way back down, falling from 80 to 70 and falling all the way back to the upper 50s for daytime highs by next weekend. That's a 20-degree temperature difference there in just a couple of days. So going from feeling like the summer, Michelle, to definitely feeling more like the fall. That's Kentucky in a nutshell. That's
it sure is. But we're going to enjoy these next 3 days. They look beautiful.
You know, it's still weird to know that it's the middle of October and that Halloween not too far away now.
Yeah, and speaking of Halloween, what's your costume? So you can now dress up if you are a female, like Ken Bone.
We're talking about the gentleman who had his 15 minutes of fame there from the last presidential election last Sunday night. And now women can get a chance to dress as a sexy Ken Bone costume for Halloween. Of course, you got the red sweater there and high-waisted pants and a cropped undershirt. And it'll all cost you about $100.
$100? I'd like to see Ken Bone actually wear this Ken Bone outfit.
You know, I think if the internet were to really explode, Ken Bone would dress up as Harambe, the gorilla, for Halloween. That seems it's not going away.
Okay, when WKYT This Morning returns, we're going to have a story about a new invention that allows people who are paralyzed to be able to get stronger just by using their own grip. We'll tell you about it right after the break. And Tuesday night's Mega Millions jackpot is $20 million, and Wednesday night's Powerball jackpot, $136 million. We'll be right back.
Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
Welcome back to WKYT This Morning. I hope you're having a great Sunday so far. So researchers say a new high-tech invention is helping paralyzed patients get stronger. A London doctor and his patient show Terry Okita how it works.
Hi, Adrian. I'm 55-year-old Adrian Totman suffered a serious stroke less than 2 weeks ago.
Now try and make a tight fist for me. So now we're looking at your power.
He's frustrated the stroke has slowed him down.
To have no power in this arm is not right. I want it back, and I want it back tomorrow.
So Totman agreed to try a new invention called Grippable, created by doctors and robotics engineers at Imperial College London. The handheld tool tracks and records a paralyzed patient's arm strength and coordination when playing games on a mobile device.
Release, release, release. Got it.
Doctor, tell me, who is the target patient?
So our patients are patients with arm and hand disability, and these can range from patients that have stroke or arthritis or even musculoskeletal damage.
At the start of a clinical trial, the researchers found 50% of stroke patients with paralyzed arms were able to interact with touchscreen technology. After using Grippable for 6 months, that number jumped to 93%.
Very good.
Researchers say the next goal is to use it at home.
Start working with family members, with other carers, with people in their community. That's fantastic.
Topman, who's a truck driver, hopes Grippable will help send him down a speedy road to recovery. Terry Okita, CBS News, London.
The developers of Grippable are in talks with doctors in Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York, and Chicago to get the device in U.S. hospitals. Your time now is 8:20. There's still more to come on WKYT this morning. Sports and weather are next.
It was a big night for the NBA in the state of Kentucky with 2 exhibition games, one in Lexington and one in Louisville. Those highlights are coming up next in sports.
And if you got out there and enjoyed your Saturday, get ready for more of the same. Another warm, sunny day here in the Bluegrass. And coming up, I'll show you how warm those temperatures go. Good morning and welcome back to WKYT This Morning. Yet another gorgeous start across the Bluegrass, no matter where you look, from Elizabethtown to Frankfort to Fayette County to Rowan County. It's gorgeous out there as we get going early this morning in Kentucky, and temperatures are once again well ahead of where they should be normally. Starting out in the lower 60s, quite a few spots still holding on to the 50s, but we are seeing that warming getting started early this morning. As far as condition-wise, don't bank on really seeing very much rainfall today. A dry one as we work our way into the afternoon. A very pleasant afternoon with not only conditions but temperatures as well. So a nice light breeze, sunny skies, warmer than normal temperatures. Really all you need is Keeneland and some bread pudding. You got to get out there and enjoy the beautiful conditions while we still have them. Feeling a little like the late summer here in the middle of fall in the Bluegrass. Lee K. Howard is back in next with sports.
In 7 seasons at Kentucky, John Calipari's had 28 players drafted in the NBA. 4 of those players were back in Rupp Arena last night for an NBA exhibition game between the Washington Wizards and Sacramento Kings. All 4 Cats getting the start last night, including DeMarcus Cousins. Right here, he nails the step-back jumper over Marcin Gortat. The rookie, Scalabissiere, has his pocket picked by John Wall. And Wall going the other way. We've seen him do this a time or two. Stops at the free throw line and nails the fall-away jumper. Wall had just 11 points in 22 minutes of play. Big Cuz with the dime to Willie Cauley-Stein. Stein with 12 points on the night. DeMarcus with 6 assists. Cousins finished with a game-high 22 points, including 9 of 13 from the field. His only 3 of the game coming right there. Kings win it 124-119. Labissiere had 4 points and 2 blocks, but did not score.
Felt great to be out there. Got to play in front of the craziest fans in the world. The atmosphere was great. Good competitive game. Came out with a win, so good day.
Man, it's just cool to come back here, man. And coming here, for 3 years and just being around the whole culture is just cool,
It was fun, the crowd, they really embraced us, Kentucky guys, so it was a good experience.
Another former Wildcat, Karl Anthony Towns, and the Minnesota Timberwolves took on the Miami Heat last night in Louisville at the Yum Center. In the first, Towns takes the entry pass from Andrew Wiggins and deposits it safely inside the iron. A little bit later, Timberwolves trailing by 3 off the Ricky Rubio miss. Towns collects the rebound, steps back for the triple. Towns finished with a double-double, 16 points, 14 rebounds. Minnesota tops the Heat 101-96. Towns said after the game that he was surprised by the loud cheers that he got from the Louisville crowd.
I didn't expect to get cheered for at the beginning either. We had money that I was going to get booed, so that didn't go well for me. So it was a lot of fun. You know what? It just it means a lot for people to come out and cheer for me, especially even in Louisville. It just means a lot. I'm thankful for not only all the fans at BBN, obviously the family I have there, but for everyone here in Louisville for showing just respect and just courtesy to me.
What a fun night for all those guys playing some basketball back in the state of Kentucky. And that'll do it for your morning sports. Have a great day.
Now at 8:30 on WKYT this morning, a shooting at a fast food restaurant in downtown Lexington leaves a girl fighting for her life this morning. And 2 people are also in the hospital after a shooting at a Lexington club and another one at a bank nearby. And Governor Matt Bevin will release the money he cut from state colleges and universities. All those stories coming up on WKYT this morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good Sunday morning to you. I'm Michelle Chamberlain. It is October 16th. I hope you're having a great start to your day. Now, we had a busy night in our newsroom, but before we give you the news, here's meteorologist Mike Linden with a look at your Sunday forecast. Good morning, Mike.
Michelle, good morning to you. As we start off our Sunday morning, things are just gorgeous across the Bluegrass State. Lots of sunshine for you. Temperatures are warmer than where they should be normally. There's really nothing bad out of the weather. We look across Kentucky here on the weather cameras from Louisville to Corbin. Again, lots of sunshine for you. A beautiful start to our Sunday morning. Temperature-wise, we're getting going in the low 60s, which is warmer than normal, than where we should be for this time of year by almost 10 degrees. And we will continue to hold on to that warmth and surplus as we head into the afternoon. As we look at the Defender Radar Network, again, there's nothing going on this morning. Very thin clouds out there, but that's about it as far as moisture goes. A beautiful Sunday morning for you to get your day started, whether you're heading to church, you're getting your errands started early, or if you're getting ready to head out to Keeneland with the family. It looks like a beautiful Sunday for you, and today is just really the start of this warming trend that we will continue to see into the start of the work week. Coming up, I'll show you how warm those temperatures go before the fall finally decides to return.
Thank you, Mike. Now we start this morning with developing news. Multiple people are at UK hospital due to shootings this morning. One person is in critical condition after being shot at the Cookout fast food restaurant on South Broadway. They say a girl was shot in the neck at the shootout. Now police say, or at the Cookout rather, police say it happened around 4 o'clock this morning. WKYT's Mike Byers live at UK hospital with more information. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Michelle. Lexington police have been very busy overnight responding to multiple shootings. They say this morning's most recent shooting has left a girl in what they describe as very critical condition here at UK Hospital. Now, police say they responded to a call of shots fired at the Cookout restaurant on South Broadway just before 4 a.m. Police tell us 2 cars exchanged gunfire and then drove away. Officers say at some point during the exchange of gunfire that a girl was shot in the neck. Now, they're not sure where she was when she was shot. What police do know is that the girl was rushed to UK Hospital. They confirm she is in very critical condition at this time. Her identity has not been released. Now, police were able to get a description of the 2 cars involved. They tell us one is either a black or a blue Dodge Charger, while the other car involved is a charcoal gray Dodge Charger. Now, police do have 2 people of interest that they are questioning right now, as they say that their car matched the description of one of the cars that was caught leaving the scene. Of course, if we learn of any breaking details, we'll keep you updated on air, online, and through our WKYT mobile news app. Live at UK Hospital, Mike Byer, WKYT.
We've also learned about 2 more people who were in the hospital after being shot in downtown Lexington early this morning. Police say they got the call at 1:30 of shots being fired at Trust Lounge on West Main Street. Then police received another call about a half an hour later about another shooting 1 block down Main Street at the Chase Bank parking garage. Police say the victim from Chase Bank is in critical condition this morning at UK Hospital after being shot in the stomach. Police say the victim from Trust Lounge will be okay after being shot in the leg. Police do not have a description of the suspects, and they do not know if the shootings are connected. Some EKU students are looking for a new home this morning after a fire. It happened yesterday evening on Summerfield Court in Richmond. Investigators say neighbors called 911 to report the fire, and investigators do not know what caused that fire, but say the house is a total loss.
We ran to the front door and knocked on one of the person's doors, and we told them that their back porch was on fire. And then I ran to next door, and because it's a duplex, and I knocked in the door because nobody was answering, and I ran upstairs and downstairs. Nobody was home, luckily, and we got everybody out, called the cops real quick.
And thankfully, firefighters say nobody was injured in the fire. We've now learned that millions of dollars will be released to Kentucky state colleges and universities tomorrow. Governor Matt Bevin had cut the money from the school's budget back in the spring, but Attorney General Andy Beshear sued, calling the cuts illegal. And last month, the state Supreme Court sided with Beshear. The Attorney General's office told us yesterday Bevin and Beshear signed an order to release the money. The third and final presidential debate is just 4 days away. Hillary Clinton took a break from the campaign trail to prepare, but Donald Trump held a series of events. Brooke Silva-Braga has more from campaign 2016.
At rallies both in New Hampshire and Maine Saturday, Donald Trump responded to a growing number of reports he improperly touched women by saying they were not only untrue, but intentionally dishonest.
The election is being rigged by corrupt media pushing false allegations and outright lies in an effort to elect Hillary Clinton president.
The Clinton campaign responded to the rigged election comments with a statement. The American electoral system is free, fair, and open, and voting should be encouraged, not dismissed or undermined because a candidate is afraid he's going to lose.
Hey guys.
Clinton's running mate tried to use Trump's words to motivate Democratic voters in Florida.
We got to make sure that the margin that he loses by is so big and so clear and so powerful and so unmistakable that when he stands up and says, "Poor me and it was rigged against me," nobody will believe him.
The latest round of WikiLeaks emails include what appear to be transcripts of paid speeches Clinton gave investment bank Goldman Sachs. In one, she said the people who know the most about regulating Wall Street are Wall Street bankers themselves. Brooke Silva-Braga for CBS News, New York.
The Clinton campaign has not verified or disputed the authenticity of any specific files in the leak, but blames Russia for the breach. Now, people in Kentucky are concerned about possibly having to buy a passport to have a valid ID. United States post offices around the state held their annual passport fair yesterday, and it came at the right time with the recent news that Kentuckians may need a passport to board airplanes starting in 2018. Now, that's if Kentucky does not make a new law by then bringing the state up to code with federal law. One person says she doesn't understand why the law has to be so complicated.
It's stupid, I think, to have a passport to go in the U.S. I mean, we have a state ID license showing that we're from the United States, so I don't see why they would make it more difficult to fly within the U.S.
The commissioner of Kentucky's Department of Vehicle Registration said earlier in the week that he believes the state would make the necessary changes in time. Now, if the law is not changed by January, Kentucky residents will not be able to use their ID to enter a military base or nuclear power plant. Now let's take a look at what's going on today around central Kentucky. Over in Mount Sterling is day 3 of the annual court days. It starts this morning at 8 o'clock and runs until 6. More than 200,000 people are expected to show up over the course of the 4 days. 1,500 vendors are also on hand to sell many different things. Court Days is considered the largest outdoor festival in the state every year. And over at Keeneland, today is Keeneland Kids Club Day. Kid Club members and their families get in for free. It starts at 11 and runs till 5:30, and there are plenty of activities for the kids, such as face painting and arts and crafts. Should be a good time. I know we're going to head out there. Your time now is 8:38 on this Sunday morning. Coming up on WKYT this morning, a company is offering a new way to answer phone calls, and all you have to do is put your finger up to your ear. It's a pretty cool story, and it's coming up after Mike's forecast.
And once again, things are gorgeous as we get going here on Sunday morning. Look at the view in Breathitt County. This is what it looks like all over the state. A beautiful sunny Sunday for us, and there's still more to come. I'll show you how warm we'll go coming up.
Welcome back to WKYT this morning. We are following breaking news out of Scott County. 2 lanes of Interstate 75 southbound are currently closed just south of Georgetown due to a 2-car crash. Now, the crash happened at the 133-mile marker. We do have a crew on the scene, and we'll have more on our website, WKYT.com. Also, just into our newsroom, while Lexington police were out investigating the shooting at the Cookout restaurant on South Broadway, right next door at the Speedway was an armed robbery. Lexington police say it happened just after 5 o'clock this morning at the Speedway on South Broadway. Police say the suspect was wearing a clown mask and pointed a gun in the clerk's face. They say he did get away with money. Now, about an hour later, they say the same person wearing that clown mask robbed a Thornton's gas station on Georgetown Road.
And as far as your weather goes as we get started here on Sunday morning, things are pretty good. Sunny skies, warm temperatures, and if we look at the Defender radar network, we're just once again not seeing very much of anything. Very comfortable, very calm conditions as we get going. Again, those temperatures warmer than where they should be for this time of year, starting out in the lower 60s. That's a good 10 degrees or so ahead of where we should be this time of year at this time of day. We will continue to see those temperatures running warmer than normal into our afternoon today, getting back into the lower 80s for daytime highs. Bear in mind, a normal daytime high for this time of year is the upper 60s, and we'll get past that even before noon today. So if you have plans to be outside, well, you certainly planned accordingly, because today looks like a good one to enjoy everything that we're getting from Mother Nature. Now, we'll start you off at 8 o'clock this morning, and we will advance into the afternoon. We're just not going to get in on any of the cooler weather that is typical for this season. That's going to stay north of us. A cold front taking its time to move through Indiana and Ohio, keeping the cool air and the rainfall to our north. That front just isn't going to go south enough for Kentucky to get in on any of that active weather and cooler air. So that means today, Monday, and Tuesday, all looking quite sunny and relatively dry. That will change, though, as we get into our late Tuesday and into Wednesday, when another front dips in from the northwest, although this time this front extends a bit further to the south. That means not only will temperatures begin to drop back to normal, but the return of the rainfall also gets here by Wednesday. That will continue to stay with us into the second half of the work week and into next weekend, too. So that's why you've got to get outside today and enjoy the sunny, beautiful weather that we will find once again out there this afternoon. Monday, Tuesday looking quite similar to the weekend as well, with warmer than normal temperatures and sunny skies. And by Wednesday, that's the turning point. As we work our way past Hump Day, that's where temperatures begin to drop off considerably and the rain returns. Look at the difference in temperatures in just 7 days, from highs in the low 80s to the upper 50s. That's a 20-degree swing in less than 7 days.
Quite the roller coaster ride, the Kentucky weather.
It certainly is exactly how the weather has been this year in the Bluegrass State.
So do you use an earpiece when you talk on the phone?
I mean, built into my phone, sure, but...
Yeah, some people prefer to do that when they talk on their smartphone instead of, holding the phone to their ear.
Well, now one company is offering a new way to answer your calls with your finger. Marley Hall reports.
It's a little hard to believe.
Very awesome technology.
That putting a high-tech watch band on your wrist...
It's so weird. How can you do it?
...can turn your finger into a phone receiver.
It's amazing. And if I take it out, it stops.
The signal band can attach to a smartwatch or a classic watch. Bluetooth connects it to your phone, and when someone calls, the sound travels from your wrist to your finger.
Hello?
A mic in the band picks up your voice. Han Na-yu helped develop the device in South Korea.
It translates the sound into a vibration so that it can pass through your hand and then through your finger all the way up to your ear. So when it meets your ear, it becomes a sound again.
The technology is still being perfected. Right now, the sound is a little muffled, especially in noisy places like here in Times Square.
With a double tap.
Several tech companies have come up with ear devices making it easier to talk, like Apple's new wireless AirPods. The Sony Xperia earpiece can actually be controlled by pushing a button or even nodding your head.
You're going to find increasing ways to interact with the phone through smartwatches, through other devices that let you leave the phone in your pocket.
The Signal device is not for sale yet.
And you're actually hearing through your finger.
Yeah, that's weird, but it's a good invention.
It's expected to be available next year with a price tag around $150. Marley Hall, CBS News, New York.
Isn't technology amazing? I can't believe it. You're just talking on the phone through your finger.
And now even Nike is making those shoes from Back to the Future with the self-lacing shoelaces.
Oh, that ties itself.
The future's here, folks. We just need those flying cars. Those are right around the corner.
Oh, don't say that, Mike. Your time now is 8:46.
More news when we return.
Good morning. I'm Bill Bryant. Lexington Mayor Jim Gray wants to go to the U.S. Senate. He talks with me about how he differs from Senator Rand Paul. A preview of Kentucky Newsmakers is coming up.
Coming up, a mother and daughter interview with Hillary and Chelsea Clinton. We'll also catch up with songwriter to the stars, Carol Bayer Sager. And we talk about divorce with Sarah Jessica Parker. That's the title of her new TV series. Those stories and more just ahead.
Good morning, I'm Bill Bryant, and it's so nice to have you with us here on WKYT. On November 8th, Kentucky voters will decide who represents them in the U.S. Senate for the next 6 years. Incumbent Republican Rand Paul is being challenged by Democrat Lexington Mayor Jim Gray, who appears with me on this weekend's Kentucky Newsmakers. Gray addresses a range of issues on the program.
You know, today we've got a senator who's representing Republicans, and we've got a senator who's representing the Tea Party. Kentuckians deserve a senator who is representing Kentuckians. This is what my main focus would be. If it's good for Kentuckians, then I'm going to be for it. If it's not good for Kentuckians, then I'm not going to be for it. I'm willing to work with anybody. In fact, I've said I'll work with whoever is elected president. Senator Paul will not make that commitment. Senator Paul will not make the commitment that he'll work with whoever's elected president.
Have the accusations and the trailing poll numbers of Donald Trump caused you to believe that Republicans in Kentucky could be deprived of long coattails that could be at the top of the ticket?
Well, I really don't know about how the presidential campaign is going to affect the Senate race. What I am focused on is the Senate race and what's good for Kentuckians. You know, when I travel the state, as you mentioned earlier, what I hear people say is, we want a U.S. Senator who's going to be thinking about the problems that we've got here in Kentucky. You know, we've got challenges all across the state. Now, here in central Kentucky, here in Lexington, I often say we've been lucky. You know, we've got an unemployment rate that was 6 years ago was 8.5%. Today, it's less than half of that. We've achieved a lot. We've worked through a lot of problems, otherwise intractable problems, like fixing a pension for our city's fire and policemen, like fixing a health care plan for our city's employees. You know, we've done a lot of projects. We've got a consent decree project that we're finishing. So some of the major projects in the city's history are underway today. Well, we've demonstrated here in Lexington that we can actually get along and work across the aisle. We've got Republicans and Democrats on the city council. It can be done. And this is what my campaign is focused on. So we don't know what's going to happen in the presidential race, and I'm sure not going to tell people how to vote in that race. What I'm focused on is the Senate race.
Let's talk about some of the issues. Your new ad criticizes Paul on defense and national security. He says he supports an increase in defense spending at this point. You said that was not the case early in his term, and you're coming out this weekend with a plan for security and defense issues.
Well, Senator Paul was against it before he was for it. So there's been a flip-flop there. Senator Paul came in as an isolationist. Senator Paul was very clearly against the United States intervention, the United States doing its role, performing its role as the leader of the free world. He's been there all along. Now, only recently, when he began running for president, did he advocate for an increase in defense spending. But originally, he advocated for as much as a 30% decrease in defense spending. Now, I am one who always believes you ought to look at ways you can cut out the fat.
Now, we are attempting to schedule Senator Paul before the election for an interview as well, and to see the full talk with Gray. Catch Kentucky Newsmakers when it repeats this morning at 10 over on the CW Lexington. We'll have the latest news, weather, and traffic for you bright and early this week on WKYT This Morning. Join Andrea, Micah, Officer Don, and me, and wake up the Kentucky way. I'm Bill Bryant, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back to WKYT This Morning. So, Mike, you just got married. You know this. Flowers are a tradition at most weddings, right?
Mm-hmm, most definitely.
Yeah, but for this one couple, they used puppies.
Yeah, I think my wife maybe would have liked this idea better than flowers. Catherine and Brad Zemer, they used rescue puppies at their wedding in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The couple supports Secondhand Hounds, an organization that rescues dogs from high kill shelters.
How cute is that? But if you had had those puppies, she probably wouldn't have paid as much attention to you on your wedding day.
I guess
no
so.
offense, but they're so cute.
Look how cute those dogs were. Now, whether you're man, woman, man's best friend, today looks like an incredible day to get outside and enjoy the weather. Temperatures in the low 80s, mostly sunny. A lot like yesterday, a nice light breeze. Just an incredible day to spend some time outside.
What if you're woman's best friend?
Hey, whoever you are, enjoy your day today.
Yeah, enjoy your day. And thanks so much for watching WKYT. Have a great week.